Hi, everybody. This is Linda Rosen, and I want to thank Therese for all she's doing for the Writer on Box community and for giving me the opportunity to talk about my debut novel, The Disharmony of Silence, which just came out March 5th from Black Rose Writing. The Disharmony of Silence is about a clandestine love affair from 1920s Brooklyn that leads to a family secret discovered 84 years later. When Carolyn, my protagonist, who is desperate for family, discovers this secret, she is determined against all advice to reveal it. It could bring her everything she wants, or it could ruin other people's lives. Now, I know you're seeing me on this video, and you're probably wondering what that thing is coming out of my head. It's my ceiling fan. So please excuse that. Therese asked, what's something in my writer's toolbox that I like to use? And I'd like to talk about, just for a moment, the idea of being a camera. In an early on writer's workshop that I took, the instructor said to be the camera, to be the zoom lens and come in close and pull yourself into the scene. Show the dust on the dresser. Show the light streaming through the windows, through the slatted blinds, leaving lines across the dining room table. And then when I met with Nomi Eve, another author, she told me about using the five senses, at least two of them, in every paragraph. So those are the ones I use. I want to smell the old coffee from the gas station sitting in the paper cup on the kitchen counter. I want to see the dust, as I said. I want to hear the rattle of the train as it goes by. So I try to be the camera and use my five senses. Another question that Therese has asked us to do is, what's something writers should know about working in the industry? And as a debut author, I don't know as much as a lot of the others, but I want to say you've got to be open to ideas. And I was so glad that I was told this and that I had embraced it. You want to be open to ideas. You want to be able to compromise with your editor or your publisher. But when you have something you feel strong about, don't cave. I had a vision for the cover of my book, and I do love what Black Rose did with it. But when I was first shown the cover, it was gorgeous, but it wasn't what I wanted. I needed to have a cameo because that plays a big part in my novel. And so I asked them if they could redo it. I actually mailed them a picture of a cameo and asked them to put a silver flower in the woman's hair, which was very important to me. And they did it. And then I got a great cover from it. So I think be open, able to compromise, but when something's really important, stick to your guns. And as far as persevering, whether it's for something you want or when you just can't write and your work in progress is driving you nuts, I put it aside. I know a lot of people do this. I put it aside. Maybe all I need to do is go out for a walk or a swim. And that's, of course, when we're not in this crazy time of the virus, though I still go out for a walk. Or I'll put it back in a drawer and maybe rework a short story that's been sitting on my computer. I love to revise, and I find that when my head is clear from something else, I can really get into a revision. So I would do that. And I would like to just take a moment to read just about a 2-minute spot from my novel to you, and this takes place early on in the book. Carolyn has just, she's cleaning out her mother's home, getting it ready for sale, and she has just left the bedroom. I stood in front of the fireplace looking up at my lady. Just like Mom's cameo, her expression was serene. She seemed so tranquil with the sunlight streaming through the window behind her. And then my mouth fell open. Pinned to the top of her ecru bodice was a cameo brooch. I stepped in closer, for a better look. With her up on the wall, I couldn't see the small details clearly. And I'm going to skip a paragraph and then get to the next part. I placed Carolyn takes the painting off the wall. I placed the painting on the floor and knelt down for a closer look. I was right. The cameos were exactly the same, even the little silver flower behind her ear. How come I'd never noticed that before? Why would I, though? She'd hung on the wall all my life. I guess I took her for granted. Besides, until yesterday, I hadn't thought about the cameo since probably my 16th birthday. Mom rarely wore it. So who was this woman? And who was the artist? And why did she have the same exact brooch as my mother? It goes on from there with a little bit more. And I hope that you might pick up the book while we're all sequestering ourselves and have a good read. And I would love it if this Writer Unboxed community would help me with my book club challenge. I have challenged myself to reach 100 book clubs via Skype or in person, and you can find out all of that on my website, linda-rosen.com, which links to my social media, to my blog, and other links to buy the book. Thanks, and thank you so much to this Writer Unboxed community. Thank you, Therese.